Welcome to the Rave Dads podcast, everyone. We have no intro. This is it. This is us. I'm Chris Langham. With me is OG original Rave Dad, Rob. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing fantastic, Chris. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic, except for one thing.
What's that?
We're not at Nocturnal.
We're not.
Why am I at home and why are you somewhere? I don't even know where you are.
I'm not at home. I can't go to Nocturnal and I can't go home. It's just, my life right now. No, due to the wildfires, Nocturnal was canceled. We happen to live in Running Springs where the wildfires were all headed. So we had to get out of Dodge and we packed up all our Nocturnal gear. We evacuated ourselves, all of our gear, all of our stuff. And, canceled it anyway. It is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
It is what it is. So you and I were headed to Nocturnal Wonderland for the weekend to be Rave Dads. Had a whole group of rave moms and dads ready to go love on some kids. Right. You had the pancakes ready. Yes.
We had about $1,000 worth of food from Costco, but we took it all back.
Oh, you did?
Tons of pancakes. Good. Yeah. We picked it up, brought it here, and literally like an hour later found out it was all canceled, turned around, took it all back, and they were cool with it. And rave mom Linda was flying out from Florida. We called her right away and she was at the airport. Her luggage was on the plane. And somehow they managed to get her luggage off the plane and refund her ticket.
No kidding.
Yep.
No kidding.
Never heard that
already
before.
They took her luggage off the plane and refunded her ticket?
They did. Well, wasn't a refund. It was a voucher, whatever. So the next rave, she'll just use it again.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably explain to everyone what we're doing because we've never done this before. This is the Rave Dads podcast.
Right.
Rob and I have been Rave Dads. I've been a Rave Dad for a year. This is my 1-year anniversary. Nocturnal was my first Rave Dad event.
That's true.
And Rob has been Rave Dad for, he's
15 years.
Rave Dad by this time. 15 years.
15 years.
That's several generations in the life of a Rave Dad. So
yes, it is. We see new kids all the time. Now I do say kids, but I know you're adults, but we're old. You're kids. That's
we're dads.
We're dads.
You're our kids. So we call them kids.
Yes.
You might be 20 something. I've got rave kids who are probably as old as me, but that's all good. So this is our first attempt at the Rave Dads podcast. We're actually planning to do this weekend. We're going to go to Nocturnal and we are going to finish the weekend and say, Rob, this is it. Let's attempt the first Rave Dads podcast. We're going to talk about the rave, share some of our favorite dad jokes, tell our best stories, all of that. But there's no rave to go to. So here we are. And Rob decided, let's do it anyway, right?
I got 4 days free on my schedule and I'm not even at home to do work and catch up. I'm at a friend's house. So I'm having a good time down here and I got time. Let's do it. Let's rock this thing. I got to tell somebody some dad jokes. So it's going to have to be here.
Yes, we have an internal need to show some love by sharing dad jokes, even if it's just me and you. So we're trying this out. Ravers, hope you guys enjoy this. Hope somebody listens to it. Hope you guys pick this up and share it. But it's a test run for us. So we also want to invite you guys. Tell us what you think. We're hoping to do this every time we go out to one of the raves, and especially these big ones like Nocturnal. And so we'll tell you some of the raves that Rob will be at coming up. And hopefully some more Rave Dad podcast go. But let's do this. First, let's get a couple things out of the way. One, I just want to share some appreciation and prayers going out to all the folks that were affected by this, especially the first responders, the firefighters who are still out on the hills. It was quite reasonable that they shut down the show, protected our lungs. Thank you. There's a lot of smoke in the air.
Yep.
But also our prayers going out to everybody that had to change plans. I know we're not the only ones. All the ravers out there, the organizers and promoters, I know Pasquale and everybody else, there's a whole lot of changes that have to happen. So prayer and love going out to you guys. They have a lot more than $1,000 at Costco food ready to go for the weekend.
Yeah, you got that. Right.
The DJs, everybody else. Hey, we love you guys. And hopefully we can share a little encouragement on just a little tidbit of what you would have missed if on Saturday morning at the rave, we had been there flipping pancakes and sausages and telling you dad jokes. We're going to bring it to you this way. So at least you don't miss everything. And we got a little more fun. So we don't have any stories from this weekend, but we have some of our best stories ever.
We
We've
have
got some good-
stories to tell.
We have stories to tell. Hey, let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to some dad jokes.
All right.
My first question for you, Rob. We usually do a little banter. What is your favorite dad joke sequence? We like to do little sequences. What's your favorite run of dad jokes that you like to go to?
Typically I like the ones that make kids laugh. But the pirates, I like the pirate jokes.
I like the pirates.
Did you know what the pirate said on his 80th birthday?
What did he say?
Aye, matey.
That's the worst. So what's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You'd think that, but they actually prefer the C.
I didn't know that.
This is much harder when I don't know if anyone's laughing.
I know, right?
At least you're laughing.
Okay, but my favorite non-sequence joke is the question. We have to ask a science question. How do you tell the sex of an ant, whether it's a boy or a girl ant?
Okay, how do you tell the sex of an ant?
You throw it in water. If it sinks, it's a girl ant. So if it floats, it's a...
Huh. Okay, so my favorite part of this joke is Rob staring at the ravers, waiting till they get it. It takes a while.
Sometimes it takes a minute to kick in. So if you don't get that joke, contact me. I'll tell you the answer.
And one of Rob's absolute rules, you cannot give it away.
Nope.
They have to figure it out. Rob is stubborn about that. He will not let me. Rave moms always want to help out.
They do.
Rave mom walk over and try
to blab the answer to the joke.
If it sinks,
my favorite thing is, and it's only happened once, but it was worth repeating. But I told a joke. It wasn't the ant joke. It was another one similar. And the guy just walked away looking confused. And literally about 10 minutes later, from all the tables where everybody's eating, or this, I get it. Well, it took him about 5 or 10 minutes to kick in, but he got it eventually.
Wasn't the ant joke. It was one of the bar jokes.
It was.
Oh, which is my favorite sequence. And I have a new one. So we're doing the bar joke sequence.
Bring it.
Because I have a new one from my daughter. Okay. Horse walks into the bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?"
Long face.
A bear walks into the bar, stops, looks for a minute. And the bartender says, "Why the long pause?" Get it? Get it? That was a raver joke.
Yes, right, when you guys tell us jokes, if they're worthy, we keep them and we use them.
And I'm going to share some of my favorite from the last rave. Last rave I went to was I joined you up at Beyond the Gorge up in Washington. Yep. So I'm going to fair, and I'll give name credit on those. But wait, my bar jokes aren't done. Okay. Sandwich walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
It's a bummer.
And you want to hear my new one?
Yes, I do.
Here's my new one. Okay, 2 whales walk into a bar. The first whale says, and the second whale says, "Bob, are you drunk?" That's my new dad joke. I got it from my daughter.
Oh, another one of my favorite sequences is the duck ones. There's so many duck ones. You know why the duck crossed the road?
Why?
It wasn't a chicken. And the new duck joke that I just got is, you know what the duck's favorite ballet is? That would be the Nutcracker.
Oh, it's a new one.
There it is. The new duck joke to add to the list.
That was a groaner. Yeah. All right. Do you prefer a laugher or a groaner? Would you rather have them laugh more or groan at how bad it is?
I think the eye roll is possibly the best response. Just like shake their head, roll their eyes. A groan is okay in there. Who doesn't like laughing? I mean, laughing's the point, but just when they look at you, shake their head, roll their eyes, they're like, and they walk away with their pancakes. It's like,
yes,
job, mission accomplished.
I can't believe you just did that to me. Maybe that's a dad moment. It makes you feel like a true rave dad,
right?
That we've helped them suffer the life of being one of our rave kids.
We say breakfast is free, but it's not. You have to listen to dad jokes.
You do. You do. Yes. You might walk away with all your money still in your pocket, but will you still be the same person? Is your soul intact after what you have just endured in dad jokes? Okay, here are some of my favorites from the last rave I went to, which was Beyond at the Gorge. Here are, and I tried to like write them down right away and give credit. So Michelle from Beyond said, "Why was the stadium so hot after the game? All the fans left." This one is from Jessica. This one might have been my favorite. "They recently opened a company making trampolines disguised as prayer mats. The profits are through the roof." That was Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right. Alex, what do you call an illegally parked frog? A toad. Or toad. Yeah, not a toad. Toad.
Toad.
I told it wrong. Sorry, Alex.
You're fired.
And Coleman, I like the simple ones. Coleman gave me this one. You know what I heard? Sheep. Heard. You know what I heard? Thank you, Coleman.
Okay. All righty then.
That's Rob's favorite kind of joke. I knew it. I think I got Rob to eye roll at me, and that does not happen very often.
Yeah.
All right, had enough of dad jokes. Actually, a little update on the fire. A little update on the fire. I got some news. I've been following the LA Fire Department has been posting updates. They actually determined that the fire that knocked out the rave was man-made. It was is arson case, so they're looking for him. They actually determined, it says that the arsonist is 4 feet tall. Apparently, he's a YouTuber who speaks to. Oh, he talks to the dead. He's a YouTuber who talks to the dead. That the headline said, and he was spotted at a fast food restaurant right around where the fire was set. The headline says a small medium still at large, last seen at McDonald's. Do you know how long I worked on that, Rob?
I'm just leaving that there.
That one I also have to give credit to my daughter. Although I tweaked it a bit for the fire story. That one goes.
Oh, that's just wrong. Too soon, Chris. Too soon. Okay.
Sorry. It worked for me. I hope you liked it. All right, that's all we have for dad joke segments. Let's move on to other things. What else are we doing? Okay,
I have no idea.
My next
I'm along for the ride.
Rob is along for the ride. Okay, when we started talking about the Rave Dads podcast, Rob and I what are we gonna do? Like, we tell dad jokes. This is what we do, and we can tell our stories. But I kept thinking the kids, our ravers, are gonna want to talk about the rave. We usually not in the dancing area with the DJs and the music, and that if you're listening to the Rave Dads podcast, you just been at the rave, you want to be remembering the music. And so I came up with a segment idea that kind of crosses over Rave Dad world with the musical element of the rave that we're kind of on the other side of. And I call this segment Rave Dads Rate the DJs, based solely on raver reenactments of the DJ. I'm working on a shorter title. I don't have one.
Yeah, definitely need a shorter title for sure.
So Rob and I, who have our opinions, I have to give some provisos, some apologies up front. Rob and I know very little of EDM. We both have our own history with it. I actually was I was a rave kid back in about 95, and I forgot to tell you this, Rob. I just learned from an old friend who was one of our rave buddies way back when, who's still one of our friends, that we went to Nocturnal in like 95.
No way.
I didn't even know it was a thing then. Apparently Pasquale was running them too. And I don't know if it was called Insomniac or what, but we were at Nocturnal. I was there.
Who knew?
I don't know when the original one was.
Very cool.
But so yes, there's my little story. But
I was not there. That's for sure.
You were not there.
I was not there.
I side story about the whole rave moms and dads thing. So I'm new to this. I've been doing it for a year. I was a rave kid. What's that? We're almost 30 years ago now. So, but when Rob and Colleen first started doing the, just got a heart, we want to go love on the kids at the raves. We want to bring them God's love. And I remember that Rob was my plumber from my church.
I was.
And my first thought, Rob, was, you are the last people I would ever picture at a rave. What are you thinking?
Right. That's what I said. Like, wait, what?
So I have a little bit of history with EDM and I enjoy the dancing, but I have to admit, I have to be upfront. I never actually knew the difference between DJs. I would just dance and I would enjoy the dancing. And I honestly couldn't even tell you the difference between like the styles. Like I remember there's trance, there's other ones. I don't know. And I just didn't pay enough attention. I'm like, it's music. It has a beat. I'm going to dance. So for my own scale, I'm going to rate the DJs based on raver reenactments of the DJ, which at the moment we only have one, but next time we'll have more. We have 3 DJs from 2 ravers who helped us out. But so I'm going to rate it on my danceability scale. Rob, on the other hand, every time I've asked him about EDM,
I'm going to use a different scale.
EDM? Yes.
I can't tell you how many times kids have looked at me and over the grill or at a table or whatever and said, "So do you like EDM?" I'm like, "No, it sounds like a car alarm going off all night." And they get all like, and kind of offended. And I'm like, but it's okay because when I was your age, music was my life. I get it. I like a different type of music, but I understand the draw towards EDM and how much you guys love it. And they're pretty much always like, "Oh, okay, you're still okay with us, you know." But yeah, this is a car alarm.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. What can I say?
And every once in a while at the rave, Rob will, like, when the music's going in the background, Rob will just look at me and pause for a second. And he's like listening. He's like, "Yep, car alarm." I don't know if his instinct is like, I need to go rescue that car from a thief or... So when I came up with this idea, I decided that that Rob's scale for ranking the music will be a 4-level car alarm scale.
Works.
Level 1, the deterrent.
Run away!
So bad I ran away.
Run!
This is all from the thief's perspective. Rob is the car thief.
I'm the car thief in this scenario, and I'm just going to run away if it's level 1. Just get me out of here.
Car alarm level 2, the trap. It's so good, I had to stop and boogie, and the police showed up and dragged me away. That's level 2.
Level 2.
Level 3 car alarm is the party. It's so good, I stopped to groove, and the police showed up and danced with me. That's how good it is. And level 4 car alarm, I call... Rob is dancing. For those listening to audio, Rob, I guess you would call it dancing.
It's not dancing.
Level 4 is the window breaker. It's too good. I broke the window and got out before the cops got there because I wanted to bring the party home. Those are his 4 levels for car alarm. Okay, let's go. This is a video we captured from actually the Rave Moms captured for us. This is what inspired the whole idea. This is a couple of our rave friends, and I wish I remember their names. I love these guys, but they were helping the rave moms out in this case to understand the difference between the DJs. So I'm going to play for you in our fancy tech setup where I've got
nothing but the best over here at Plurway.
Yes, this is how we do tech, especially when it's last minute. Hey, let's do this anyway. That's no rave. I'm going to play the video from my phone, attempt to get it close enough to the mic so you can hear it. And these are the impressions of ravers reenacting the different DJs who were at Beyond the Gorge.
And we're going to be asking you guys to do this next time we're at a rave.
Yes, next time we're at a rave, we're going to get you on camera doing your reenactment / impression of the DJs because we want more of these. But these guys are awesome. They inspired the whole thing. Let's see who they're doing first. The first one, I believe, is DJ Zed. And if I don't say the DJ names right, I just don't. I don't know.
Us Plurway Rave Moms are sitting here with these 2 amazing people, and they're trying to teach us the different types of music. So tell me what Zed is like. If all of this tragedy was... Nice.
Okay, gotta pause. Gotta pause. The pause is not working.
Old people using technology doesn't always work out very well.
No, it
The
doesn't.
pause button is so hard to figure out.
I could go back and do it again, but I'm not. I'm going to own it. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, but I want your ratings. Rob, what is your rating on the Rob car alarm scale?
Run away! Run away!
It is the deterrent. All right.
Sorry.
Zed just saved that car's life from Rob the car thief. Well done. For me, it was a little high pitched. I have no idea if the real Zed, if it's really that, but it was fun. I could move my head to that. I maybe start moving my feet. I'm going to go 1.5 for Zed.
Maybe if she had gone a little longer, I could have given him a 2, but
yeah,
based on the clip,
You already ran away.
I'm gone. I couldn't stick around long enough to find out.
Okay, now I have to back up a little bit and figure this out. Okay, the next one I believe is Diesel, who I was very excited to find out is possibly Shaquille O'Neal. This was all news to me, being a non-outside the rave. I'm familiar with Shaquille O'Neal in the basketball world.
Right.
He is someone, but DJ apparently, and here's the impression. Let's go. Let's hear.
Okay, bring it, Shaq.
All right, I'm going to cue it up. Wait, that's still Zed. Here we go.
Okay, now what about Shaq that goes as Diesel, right? DJ. Awesome. Now do Dylan.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so Zed just got a promotion. I think Zed's a 3 because this is definitely runaway. Sorry, Shaq. You should have stuck with basketball.
That actually sounded literally precisely like a car alarm. I didn't even work on the car alarm scale. That was exactly a car alarm. I'm sorry. On my scale, my scale, I think we had to re-record over this. So I don't think I've shared my scale. My danceability scale, 1, bob of my head. 2, moving my feet. 3, make some room. Time to get my groove on. 4, dance in the kitchen with my grandson. Sorry. Although Ezra enjoys something called slappy dance. It's mostly slapping and a little bit of moving your feet. So we might be able to slappy dance, but that one, I got a 1.
Yeah.
Bob, it was interesting. And I wanted to like Shaq. I really did. But here we go. Number 3, let's see our next DJ. I believe this is Dylan.
Okay.
Another DJ. Here we go. Let's hit play.
I don't even know. What is it? Get low. Okay. What do you think? Have we learned?
Okay. All right. That was our last one. Dylan's up. There was some get low. There was some winning. I think that was the word.
I think based
car
on
alarm scale.
This whole thing is what do they call that in school? It's a sliding scale. I think based on that, we're going to give him a 2 because Shaq just reset the bar down at the bottom.
So he is the trap. Dylan is the trap. Yeah. It's so good. I had to stop and the cops picked me up.
Exactly.
So now Rob is in jail and I'm going to make some room and get my groove on because it's the last one. And if I don't get some dancing in before this is done, why do I even show up? What's the point anyway? So Dylan's my winner. He gets the 3. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for enjoying Rave Dads. Rate the DJs based solely on raver reenactments of the DJ, soon to be shortened in the title. But that's what you got.
And at your next rave, make sure to keep in mind your chance to reenact and be on the Rave Dad podcast.
Yes. If you're like, hey, I could have redone better than that. Dylan needs a second shot. Diesel needs a better go than that. He doesn't sell it. You bring it. That's tell us, and we will record it. And we will bring it to the Rave Dads podcast. We'll make it happen. If that wasn't good enough for you, or if you thought this was terrible, then you can tell us that. Just please be kind when you do. And
just let us have it. Just bring it.
We can take it. Yeah. We're old.
We're old codgers. We can take it.
We don't care. It's what makes dancing more fun for me now. I don't care anymore.
It does help when you really don't give a rip what anybody thinks. You're just out there having a good time.
That's my secret. Get my groove on. Okay, next segment.
All right.
We got one more to go.
All right.
Best rave stories. Now, typically when we go to a rave, we're going to finish the rave. We're going to tell our best stories from the weekend. How did it go? Kids that we connected with, pancakes we flipped, best new dad jokes. But we didn't go to a rave because Nocturnal was canceled.
We didn't.
So that gives us an opportunity, since it's our first show ever, to tell our best stories ever. Although, can we remember all our best stories ever? No, we're probably too old. But
You know, the kidneys, they just don't work like they used to, Chris.
Exactly. And if you're listening, if you're watching on audio and that joke didn't make sense, then go back to
Well, if you're watching on audio, nothing would make sense. Just saying.
Okay. All right, Rob, give us a good story. Tell me a good rave. Rob's been doing this 14 years. You got to have some good stories for us.
All right, let's go back to our first nocturnal camp out. So the rave moms and dads normally hang out on the street and do what we do out there. But our first year that we camped, we brought pancakes and sausage. We did not have the gear we have today. We just took what we had out there and we camped, and we were setting up our campsite. We're in the car camping. We've got our Suburban. We've got our campsite we paid for. We've got pancakes and sausage, the shake bottles, so you wear your arms out trying to shake up the pancake mix.
Oh, you had not yet invented the contraption.
We had not. Yeah, we were just green as can be. So we get out there and we're setting up our campsite. And what we did not know is the campers behind us, in the spot behind us, were just stopped and staring at us. And
nice.
Now I know these people well now today, so I can tell their story and they won't be offended. They love us and all that, but they're Sarah and her crew. They're all Hispanic, Mexican, whatever I'm supposed to say these days. And
all correct. So
I don't know. I love these kids, but they're just dead stopped in their track. Like if there's old people, there's a bunch of old people setting up camp at Nocturnal. And Sarah looked at her friends and she said, "They're at the wrong festival. Somebody needs to tell them. This is not Stagecoach. This is a rave. They're at the wrong. Somebody needs to tell them." And so she's like, "I'm going to tell them." And so she starts to walk over and
that's very kind.
Lupe, one of the guys, he's like, "Don't step in their space. They're white." and she's like, "I don't care. I'm going anyway." And so she comes marching on over, and Sarah has told me until she met us, she hated white people. But she comes marching into our site, walks right up to me and says, "Hey, you want a beer?" I said, "No, I'm good. It's okay, thanks." And she just looked real confused. Nice. She looked at me like, "What?" "I'm going to the bathroom." Turned around, walked away. and she came back.
Crazy white people.
I know. She's just like, "What is happening?" So she came over about an hour later. She goes, "What's going on here? You don't belong here. What are you doing?" So we told her what we were doing. And I
love it.
And the angry look on her face softened as we just told her we're here to just love on kids and just show everybody how much Jesus loves them. And pretty soon her whole crew came over and we were laughing and talking, and we did the pancakes and we, ate with them a couple times. Then on the last day, Sunday or Monday, whatever it was, Sarah came over and had made all of us lunch. And so we got to eat with her. And a story that I think was funny is fast forward about 2 years. Rave Dad Wayne and I went out to lunch with Sarah and her whole crew, whole bunch of them.
Nice.
And we went to Chili's. We're sitting at this big table in Chili's, out in the middle, because we wouldn't fit at a booth. There were so many of us. And we were just having a great time. We were telling stories. We were laughing. We're joking around. And I suddenly got the weird feeling that somebody was looking at me. And I kind of look around the room. And as I look around the room, literally everyone in the restaurant is staring at this table of complete opposites. These old white guys with a whole bunch of Mexicans and Santa Ana, and we are just having the best time. We're laughing and we're talking, and I just ignored everybody else and said, "You know what? This is just awesome. This is just awesome." And I get Father's Day cards now, so it's
oh, that's the best. That's amazing.
It's been just
Every
a
once in a
blast.
while in life, you get a little slice of heaven.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny piece. And you feel that real connection and love. And you just got to take a little snapshot.
Yep.
That's so good.
Yep. It just, it was awesome.
So one of my favorite rave stories so I've actually only gone to 2 of these as a rave dad with Rob.
Right.
And before that, it was 30 years since I went to rave. And I don't remember great stories then, but I have great stories now. So my favorite part of the rave, so Rob's invited me to this thing. And I have to tell you, Rob is a planner. It's what he does. He's like project manager. There's so much, there's so many moving parts. Like he is, this is not my DJ impression, but it's, I'm spinning records here. He's spinning plates. Rob is spinning plates, getting all this stuff ready. And he sends me a list of dad jokes, and I'm memorizing dad jokes. And he sends me a layout of the camp. So when we show up at camp, we are ready to go. And he's got different possibilities. We might have a 4x4 camp. We might have 2. We might have like he's got several layouts. He's worked very hard on this. This is the hardest he's ever worked. He tells me like he's really got it prepared now. It's the whole where's
there's
the table,
no wasting
chairs,
time. Everybody
camper,
unloads
Jeep.
gear. They know where to put it because they know where it goes.
It's on.
Makes
I had
sense.
it on my phone, ready to go. So we're sitting in line and we get held up. Somebody gets held up coming through. They're checking out and everything. We're losing time. We're going to be late. Everything like stress is building. It's all about we need to get the right spot. Everything needs to happen. And I'm just like, I'm just in the zone, like they're all going to be taken, but we're waiting for somebody. What should we do? Rob is totally planned out, but now he's getting a little stressed out, and he keeps saying God is in control.
No,
he keeps saying God is in control. Does he really believe God is in control?
I do.
So we show up, and we get spots right on the main walkway. It was fantastic. Ooh. But I think they were like 4 long. And
they were on a corner.
None of his layouts.
Yeah, it was on a corner.
That's
it wasn't
right.
4 in a row. It wasn't 4 in a box.
Oh, yes.
It was around a corner. All the sites that we had bought.
The one thing Rob did not plan for. And I'm just watching Rob just like throwing his plans away. What are we going to do? This is my Rob plans, God laughs story because everything went wrong. But I got to tell you, from there on out, this is my first one tagging along. So much went wrong in order for it to go right.
Yeah.
And I just love that. There were so many
every time. For
me, there was so many, like we had the perfect neighbors. I loved our neighbors there. Yeah. We at Nocturnal last year, we had Gus and Louie and their whole crew, and it was so great. And then we had Sarah over nearby and the people across. We had so many fantastic neighbors. We were in the perfect spot. We changed the layout. It was so good in the L shape that we got the layout.
It actually worked out better than any of my factory layouts that we normally do. It was awesome. Awesome.
So, and just from there on out, God kind of gave me this little like watch for minor miracles. That was my little theme while I was there. All the little minor miracles where God shows up. And I just love it. All right, Rob, give me one more story. Actually, give me a good story about the haters.
Oh,
because to me, this is really interesting. Part of the raves is that we show up for Jesus. We're loving for Jesus. Mm-hmm. But we're kind of an anomaly there because there are other folks that show up for Jesus at the rave and they're not being nice. Yeah. They got megaphones, they got signs, and there's a whole lot of hate coming out. So tell me a good story about the haters.
Well, gosh, this actually is a pretty recent story. I've got several I could tell you. We've learned that talking with them is 99.9% of the time not worth it. So we try to distance ourselves from them the best we can. We are not with them, and that's not our message, and they're not representing God well. But at Hard Summer, just a few weeks ago or a month ago, there wasn't a lot of room. So they were there was a big crowd of them. They had spread out, and it was very difficult for our moms to pass out our Plurway.com bracelets without looking like they were part of that group. And so the moms kept trying to, how do we do this? And it's not worth talking. We just ignore them. It's just they're doing their thing. We do our thing.
Yeah. But that's tough. You can't tell every kid we're not with them.
Yeah, you can't. It almost makes you look worse when you're like, we're not with them.
Yeah.
So at one point, one of the guys had set his camera up on his bicycle to videotape the guy on the megaphone and see the kids responding. And he was just letting the video roll. And it looked to me like if they were going to take that back and show the video to their friends. So
to show off their good deeds, because they're doing so. Look at the difference we've made in these kids' lives.
Right? Look how great we are. Anyway, I won't even go down that road. All right. Rave mom Colleen, who has no fear whatsoever.
This is true.
She walks over. She notices the bike, and the guy wasn't paying attention to his bike. And she walked over to the bike, and she bent over real quietly next to his phone where the microphone was and says, "You're violating scripture. This is not godly. You shouldn't be doing this. 1 Corinthians says this and Galatians says that." And she starts quoting Bible verses. You're violating this one and you're violating that one and you're violating that one. So all we can hope is they don't preview it before they play it at church.
Yes. Play that at church and let everybody hear.
I don't know what church would play them on their screen. I gotta tell you, I don't know where
they didn't see her doing it. She just gave her own little cameo to their video. They watched it sometime later. I've always had a little daydream about taking those guys on, and just shouting love back at their hate. And
I had a guy helping us out one time, and he comes up and he goes, "Do you have any scissors?" And I'm like, "Scissors? What? Do you have any scissors? Why do you need scissors?" "Well, just do you have any?" I'm like, "Why do you need scissors?" And he's like, "Well, because I can cut that guy's microphone thing and be gone before he even knows what happened." I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
But they're in the drawer in the loft.
But yeah, really. You know what? Jesus loves you guys, and he's a homeless, broke man with thousands of people following him everywhere he went. He couldn't get a moment to himself. I'm kind of thinking he was a nice guy. Who follows a homeless broke guy?
Jesus, the insult that was thrown at Jesus, the worst insult that the religious folks had come up with was friend of sinners.
Yeah.
They called him that as derogatory. He was a friend of sinners. And Jesus said that a doctor doesn't come for the healthy. He comes for the sick. Right. He comes for people that need it. Jesus came for us that need it. And
he came for me because I need it.
I needed it desperately. And wasn't too long ago. Yeah. It was fresh in the memory that I was one and the same with all the sinners, and that I didn't do anything to make me better.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk more about them on another podcast. Right. We are running out of time, Rob. I got one more story. You ready for my one more story?
Tell me your favorite rave story.
This is my favorite rave story. I'm very excited to tell it. It comes from Nocturnal last year.
Okay.
My first day showed up. So Rob gets me up super early in the morning. So first he brings me out. This is all new.
What I do.
We're up. The music is going late. So I don't have a whole lot of sleep. And I'm up. It's like, I don't know, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. We come out. Sun's not even quite coming up yet, but it's starting to get light. Everything, it's this little peaceful moment. We're on a main walkway. We have like our grill set up, and we're, setting the propane, getting the mix ready and stuff. Almost everybody's asleep, but this guy comes walking down the center of the walkway, right down the middle. And I see him a ways off. And he is wearing a cowboy outfit. Now, mind you, this is not, I went to Party City and got me a cowboy costume. This is to the nines, spurs are clinking along the way, big old brim hat. He's got everything, cowboy outfit, and he's carrying a box. So I'm intrigued. He gets closer. And as he gets closer, I can hear the box. And so walk over. So I walk over to the guy, and I can hear the box. I look inside. It's full of kittens. And I look at the guy, and I'm like, dude, what is a cowboy doing at a rave with a box of kittens? You know what he said? Boots and cats.
Chris, I love that story. That is my favorite rave story of all time.
I worked so hard on that one. Okay, true story. The night before, I think it was like I was up. I couldn't sleep. The rave, and I'm working like, I need a rave
Rave
dad
dad
joke.
joke. Yeah.
I need a rave dad
Remember
joke.
that.
And the last thing I remember about raves is boots and cats. My kids showing me on a meme, whatever the kids call it. Boots and cats. None of that story happened, by the way.
No.
But I'm quite proud of it. And here's my rule. If you hear it here on the Rave Dads Pocket, do not kill that joke for me. If you come to our table and get some pancakes, do not give it away.
That's right.
You have to play along. If you'd like, you can dance along when we get to the boots and cats part, which will Rob and I be in sync that time? Probably
not. I don't think Sorry, I was a little early. I thought I gave it the dramatic pause and then came in, but
it's hard to dramatic pause together, but you have to go with it. We're
sorry, man.
All right, that's it for the Rave Dads podcast. That is all we got. You guys can help us make it better if you want us to do something else or something completely different, or just go away.
And send us new dad jokes. We need them.
We need new dad jokes. If you see us at a rave coming up, give us some dad jokes, bring it to the table, and we will give you credit if it's a good one or if it's a bad one. Which is better, dad joke, a good one or a bad one?
There you go.
It's kind of the same. So, Rob, where are you going to be? What's now we don't know when Nocturnal's getting rescheduled.
We don't.
Hopefully,
we'll be there whenever it is. But we will be. The next one on the calendar is both Escape Psycho Circus in San Bernardino, and on the same weekend we will be at Freaky Deaky in I think it's in Austin, Texas this year. I believe I will be at Escape, and Rave Mom Colleen will lead a team in Texas, but haven't quite figured that out yet. But we'll be at both events. So if you're out in Texas, listening, we'll be at Freaky Deaky. If you're in Southern California, we'll see you at Escape.
Nice. If you're going to be at both events personally, I will be very impressed.
I would be impressed too. I would also be cut in half and probably not breathing. But hey.
I feel like there's a dad joke about that somewhere.
Probably is somewhere.
But we'll have to tell that next time. That's all the time we got. Thanks for joining us for the Rave Dads podcast. If anybody did, we don't even know yet, but I hope you did. And I hope you laughed or at least rolled your eyes, which we would be just as content with. We love you guys. We love you so much. We'll see you next time.
Love you guys.